Right. Hello everyone. How you doing? Welcome to Escape the Maze, part 16. Going to bang a few of these out this week, I think, these videos, because we're on a subject here that need a quick sort of shuffle across, I think, to punch it into us. If you haven't watched the last videos, just see whether you can, because this next 3 or 4 videos are going to link up what them other videos were talking about, the mind and what it is, and we're going to get into who created that mind for us to live in. But first things first, I trust that you're really well out there, just about being ultra aware at the moment. We're under the foot of a real big psychological battle, psychological warfare, and if we let that into our temples or our houses in any way, shape or form, it's going to become real to us, and then we're going to get self-doubt and fear on the back end of it. So just be very aware of your reaction to people, stuff, you know, short fuses, being put into drama situations. Just be really ultra aware of your reactions at the moment and what's actually going on inside of this mind and these thought forms what are in there, you know. Just about being throwing out the bad, really, and or stopping it. You know, it's all right to have our sadness, or it's all right to have our happiness, but once they leak in and we're not aware of that, then we can find ourselves in some pretty dark positions. So just be aware, and I trust you're doing really well. If you're isolated, you know, or any of that, just take the time. Do your work, your inner, and just get in contact. That way you can never really feel lonely, because there's so much going on and you're contacted by everything around you, and just to feel the love. Allow yourself to love, and allow yourself to be loved, you know. A lot of us don't give ourselves a pat on the back where we should do on this journey, because, you know, you've been fighting an invisible war for a very long time, you know, and you're going to get tired of that at times, pushing that rock up a hill. You're gonna feel the weight of knowing, of course you are, and if you're around a sea of people what are oblivious of what's going on, and they're reacting in certain ways, that might have an effect on you if you react to their ignorance, or you react to their fear coming at you. So just that's about like I say, like giving yourself a pat on the back, literally a pat on the back, for being who you are in this crazy upside down world that we're in. So you've made it this far, and you know, if there was any medals to pin on any chests, that would be the medals of truth for us lot out there, because the struggle is real, the isolation is real, the misunderstanding or being misunderstood is real, and the loss of the material has to happen. We know that, but that comes at a great cost of what we had as our heart, you know, and it's been broken a few times, and we've had to piece it back together ourselves. So if you've come through that and you're watching this video, congratulations, you know, because you are truly my brothers and sisters, because I know how difficult this journey's been for you, because I'm there with you. You know, I've travelled the same as what you have, and we recognise how difficult it is to go through them flames, to reclaim our spirit, which connects to creation and all things, you know. So we've shattered our egos, you know what I mean? We've shattered it, we've found out what it is, and then we know that we have to reside in an ego-driven realm, or ego-driven artificial world. So take a break, you know what I mean? There's a lot going on, you've been dragging a weight for a long time, and just, you know, if you need it, don't give yourself a hard time. Just settle it down. Know what thoughts are going on in your head, what ones are yours, what ones in, because there's a lot of chiselings going on what are not yours through forms coming in to test you. And be aware of where that might lead you. If you've got a gut feeling on something, don't do it. You know what I mean? So ultra awareness at the minute, but give yourself a big pat on the back. And for all the ones what are now starting your journey, good for you, because when this journey will give you a spiritual bounce back. A spirit will not let you hit the floor. It's a bit like a trapeze in the circus, you know, up in there. We've all got our nets now because we're reconnected back to spirit and creation, and the ones what haven't got it are going to hit the floor if they lose the bar. So you need to get that net back online and get connected to yourself so you bounce back up again. So this is what it's all about, is helping people. Got a great thing happened the other day. I went into a mate of mine's, and I always started this channel up, you know, like I've got 50, a little tiny community here of 57 subscribers, and I started this up just to help one. You know, if I could just help one. And the other day I went to go see my mate, and he said that a mate of his is watching the video and it's really helped him out. And I walked out of there, honestly, people, 10 foot tall, because with a big smile on my face, because I've actually connected to someone and helping them. And for me, one is great. That's great. If there's two out there, superb. 3, oh, I'm off the wall with it. But you know, I was really happy with that news. I'm helping he get it, and good for us, you know. So excuse me. So keep that well feeling going, you know, and know that what the enemy's trying to do in this psychological warfare, what's going on. And that leads on to the videos. I don't know how many of these are going to be because it's an in-depth. But I will say again that if you haven't seen the last videos, please go back if you can and just catch up on them, or watch them if you haven't watched them before, because the next 3 or 4 videos are really going to have something to do with what I was talking about in them ones. So you might come here fresh and go, what's this bloke saying? You know what I mean? So there is a link up going on all along. So part 16, Escape the Maze, is know your enemy. Like I say, if we don't know who our enemy is, history will repeat itself, as it has done all along, because we do not know what's happened to us, and we do not know who the enemy is. So therefore we are told constantly who our enemies are. We believe what we're told of who the enemies are, we react to that, and then we go out and act that out in the theatre of life, you know, because we don't know who we are, essentially, and we don't know who the enemy is and what information they're giving us, and whether they are enemies, whether they're not, whether this happening or what. We just believe everything that we're told. So when you come to a consciousness, you don't believe everything you're told, because you know who your enemy is and how crafty and sly and evil and insipid these beings are, what masquerade as men and women, you know, and they're not. So on the journey of knowing who your enemy is, you're going to go, at the beginning, you're going to go outside of yourself to look for the enemy. But what we're going to knit up is there's 2 enemies. There's an outside influence enemy, and that outside influence of an enemy has programmed an enemy inside of you, okay? And that enemy inside of you will reveal itself when you get on your journey of discovering the truth outside of the narrative what you've been given. So you got to go in search outside of you for the enemy, but it's like this on the journey, because you'll soon discover that the enemy is inside of you. You know, the enemy, the outside enemy, has programmed the enemy in you, and that's one of the major steps where we have to come to on this journey of knowing who the enemy is. Knowing what the mind is, and like I said on the previous videos, the mind has been constructed for us to live in by an outside influence, what created the mind within our brain and superimposed it over our imagination and shrunk us down like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, you know. So we live in this small constructed box of reality that we're in, where everything's in there, and that is the program what's going on in our heads. Now this might be hard to get our heads around. That's why it's imperative to watch the last videos. So there's a outside influence enemy, and that enemy has programmed you to be your own enemy. You know, to use one of their terminologies, that's quite brilliant, you know. Simple but brilliant how they done it, you know what I mean? So looking for the enemy on the outside, yes, I agree. Look for the enemy on the outside. There's plenty of breadcrumbs out there. There's also huge nowadays, huge amounts of bullshit, and leading you into separate pens or get you involved in this pen, that pen, and they're like cul-de-sacs. You can spend the rest of your life in that, protecting that belief system, what that pen's going to give you. With this journey, we all know that once we've got into a belief structure, we've lost, because we're going to stop our journey of discovering the truth. So beliefs, be careful of stunting your knowledge, stunting your learning, because you just simply believe something. You know, you might have to prove yourself wrong on that, and then that's another ego shattering moment for you. So this is just my opinion on stuff through the work that I've done. You always have to go out there, and you always have to claim your truth, what resonates with you for yourself. But there's always help from brothers and sisters if they've got the right pure intention going on for you, you know. I don't think I ever done any of this just to go around in loops, do you know what I mean, like an entertainment type thing. There's always got to be a straight line on this with information drops where people can actually, hang on a minute, yeah, I get what he's saying there, and then we get to a remedy at the end of it. If you're just going around in loops, like I say, like these people doing these videos, then where's your growth? You know what I mean? It's just turned into another form of entertainment for you, and you've got to be careful of that, because if people out there, in my point of view, if people out there are not leading people to self-empowerment, or they're not leading someone, or not leading but helping someone discover, there is a remedy out of this, and juicing people up to become their own leaders. And just sit there and say, oh, it's a done deal, you know, we lost the realm, you know, we might as well just sit back. I'm very cautious of them people selling this is like, no, listen, right, don't do anything, that's done, right? The only thing what's done is that they've just kept you in a loop, and it's negative. So not everything can be positive, of course it can't. You know, most of the truth, what you come to, is a negative aspect of your life that you've got to overcome. But, you know, we're people, and we're strong enough to do that. But if we're caught in loops, you're caught by someone what want to keep you in a pen. All right. So look for people what are on a journey and giving you self-empowerment that this can be done. All right. This is never lost. And if not, give yourself a pat on the back. Because if this is it, and you've got to wake up in this realm, then you've done it. You've completed mission. And you know what I mean? So what's there to lose? You know, you've defeated the big boss of bullshit, and you give yourself a pat on the back because you've broken through, and you're on plain sailing now, because, you know, who cares? But there is action that needs to be done along the way to facilitate the dream of life. And so if someone's taking your power away from you or stunting you, then I'd pretty much look at what you're watching over and over again. You know, we get it, you know what I mean? Now it's time to move on to what remedy is, or let's have a look at who your enemy is, so that you stop punching the wrong people, or, you know, the ignorance of that is, you know, to always be lost in cul-de-sacs, you know, like. So this next few videos will definitely be about expanding out and checking out who the enemy is, and it's going to get into we're going to get into esoterical and esoterical, the inners and outs of stuff. Like I say, I'm going to take my time on these videos because there's just so much to it. And if you can punch through the exoterical world into the esoterical world, then you're going to start knowing who your enemy is. and you're going to start knowing who you are. And once that happens, the spark of life comes on, the spark of connection, reconnection happens. You shake hands with your spirit inside, and away you go, because you can smell the bullshit from a million miles away in their terms. So we have to get into the exoterical. And what does exo mean? Well, exo is like, if you imagine exoskeleton. Exo is outside of you, okay? So there's an exoterical meaning to something that's outside. That's what you are there to consume. That's what they're giving you, for you to believe the exoterical story, the narrative. And then there's an esoterical, inner workings, the hidden workings, what esoterical means, or esoterical, that's the inner workings. So you've got two there, outer and inner, okay? So it's a little bit like us, exoterical, looking out there for your enemy, esoterical, looking for the enemy within you, the hidden enemy within you, you know. And so we're going to get into the exoterical, esoterical theme of this, and that will really lead into you know, like a secret society and how this place is run. You know, like if we go down, I've got a little bit of time, if we go down to the realms of the Freemasonic world, you know, they're known as a secret society, but, you know, all they do is, you know, it's a brotherhood. They've got lodges, the 3 degree, or the basic degrees are blue degrees, the blue ribbons, the blues, and they're the ones what just do the charity work, and you know, they're just boys meeting up, men meeting up, just to do what they do for business, helping each other out in business. That's what they do. So why is it a secret society then? Because they're the exotericals. The blues are the exotericals. They're the ones to give you, yeah, we do this for charity and what I've just said. But then you get into the reds, what are behind closed doors, and they're the esoterical. And so if they're esoterical, that means that they're hidden. That means that they're a secret. So that's why it's a secret society. So the esoterical is like the shop front. They're producing the goods, like, you know, a florist, you just see flowers and cashier and a till and nothing to it. But you don't really know what's going on out the back. So this is where the video is going to go, and I'm going to do a few of these. The esoterical, check it out, to the exoterical, inner to outer workings. Because someone might be presenting something to you, and it might not really be what they're really doing in the background. All right, so, but this video, yeah, is now ending, but so we'll go through the whole lot, but I would advise just looking at them videos, because that will lead into the mind, and the mind is the enemy within, and we've got to suss that out, who built our mind and for what reason. And I'll give you a little clue. Freemasonic world, if you're not aware of it, just look at who their main man is, and their main man is called the Grand Architect. And I don't know, I'm not that much of a clever man, but I know an architect produces drawings for people to build. So maybe that Grand Architect is the builder of your mind, and that's why it might be an inner enemy. But we'll get into that in the next video. So all the best from Escape the Maze. Take it easy. Just be aware of the thoughts going on in your head in this crazy upside down place, and just live well, you know, and smile and pat yourself on the back for the journey. But this is just, we're going to get into these videos more. I'm going to do about 5 or 6 of these, because we need to really sort of listen to our inner workings now. You know, we really need to get into that work. So